Hello, this is Mercury Rises from Clash of Empire, now called Last Land, and this is quite a long video. I wanted to show my Atlantis that I've been working on in k313. This is my original account, and it had come from 307, and we migrated to 317, and then we went to 313. And so I had sent out my troops. What I do is I work with multiple heroes. I do this typically with the weaker accounts, and now that I am in 313, this is considered a weaker account. So I do a lot of suicide missions, and today I just happened to get a really good city, and I have done several battles in that city and gotten quite a number of kills. So I had put power on my Genghis, and then I put power on my Diodora, which is like a 9-star stage 2, and then went ahead with some smaller troops, such as my 6-star Caesar, and then also my 6-star Altay, and I decided to try a little something with Joan. I have a 6-star Joan in this account, and I like to use horses on heroes that have cavalry attributes. Now, typically, this is why I use Caesar. I use Caesar as a suicide troop. He's usually the one with the least amount of power and the least amount of troops on him. And I was able to put enough power on these heroes that I was able to max out Genghis and Dora, and then add some power to Caesar, Altay, and Joan. Now, I've never used Joan in Atlantis before, unless it was just for some scout or something like that. I had never really played with her. So she is a 6-star Joan, and she ended up going up against Matilda. Now, Matilda here does not have much power, and I thought with it being an over 30-minute battle that she was going to get quite a number of kills on me. Well, she didn't. Apparently, it takes a long time to kill a siege player or a siege shadow. I'm not for sure if this is a shadow or just a hero somebody used. But as you can tell, I don't have any specialty up to 20 on my siege. Now, in this account, I do have siege benefits because when I started this account, I had chosen to do cavalry, but also to minor and siege. Now, my very first teacher had said that horses never die and siege never dies. Well, that's why I went in that direction as a new player. So I have been very fortunate that I was told that. So I'm showing here with Joan and Matilda, I don't have that many siege on Joan. It was just kind of going to be a suicide troop like I used Caesar. That was the plan. But then I saw that it really worked out very interesting, and the horses do kill with Joan. Now, Joan has cavalry attack. I don't have enough power or hero experience on this Joan to get the cavalry attack. So I'm very surprised about how well my horses actually did. Now, I'll be showing you Caesar as well. I had completely forgotten that both my guard and my infantry spearmen are maxed out in my specialty in this account because I'm trying to get infantry health in the account. My infantry health in this account has always struggled, and I think it always will. It's a very good support castle at this point when I max out the cavalry and completely tank the guard. But for Atlantis, you never want to go in as support only. And that was a mistake that one of my warriors had made, a mistake that I made previous, that you want to make sure that your castle is set up for solo play. Even a support castle has to have some infantry health in order to play Atlantis, to play Treasure Trial, things like that. So the guard really struggles in this account, and so both of the specialty is up to, I think, a 31 in guard and in spearman on this account. I've never had an account where I have 20 on the spearman, but this one we just needed to get the health in there. And the health is still quite low, but apparently it is efficient, or sufficient anyway, for Atlantis, because I have had very good success this time. Um, so usually and typically I will, of course, max out Genghis and I max out Dora, and Altea is very good in Atlantis. If you have a 7-star Dora and a 6-star Altea is about the same. And Altea will beat the guard off of a hero like nobody's business. But my Altea here is significantly weaker than my Dora, actually. So I just kind of used her this time as a suicide troop and hope that I get some kills with her. Um, so in my bigger account that I had previous, I had an 8-star Caesar, and eventually I did get an 8-star Genghis. And I was putting horses on strictly Caesar. I had a 10-star Richard, and I was putting horses, just all horses, no infantry, on the Richard. And now the infantry spearmen do work well on Caesar and Richard. They do get a significant number of kills, but since I have multiple levels of horses, and that's where my specialty lies, I can get a lot more kills with the horses and totally not even use a spearman. I didn't have the specialty on the spearman in that account though, so that might have made some difference. The attributes of Richard and Caesar have cavalry defense, but the horses kill like nobody's business on them, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I got teased about it and actually made fun of about it, but a 10-star Richard as a cavalry player will get so many kills in Atlantis that I was just embarrassed that I'd never tried him before. Now, I don't have a Richard here because I had been collapsing the frags on that one. I never thought I would need him. So the Joan, though, she's 6-star, and so I thought, gosh, I should try some horses on Joan. Joan has cavalry attack. Cavalry is my specialty. And so even with her low level, I was very impressed by how it worked out, how the horses worked out. Of course, the siege, I did notice now, T10 siege, which I didn't have any trained, and they might have been very successful, is an attack siege, and T9 is a guarding siege. T8 is an attack siege. So as you could see in the battle with the T8 siege being an attack troop, I think next time I use Joan, I will simply use the attack siege with the horses. With when I use Caesar, the spearman is naturally an attack troop, so all my horses work and the spearmen work. And I have seen infantry players use horses that they didn't have any power on or any stats on, should I say, and the horses still kill. And that's just innate to the horses. And also because Caesar has cavalry defense. So I found that really interesting, and I like to switch it up a little bit. You really do need to use multiple horses, multiple archer, whatever it is that goes on your hero, because they will continue to get kills, and your stats apply to each one of these levels of troops. So yes, I tell people this all the time. I tell new players this. You can kill T9 with T7. You can guard with T8, even against T10. If your stats are good, it really matters less what your troop size is, what your castle size is. And I have shown you guys that before. So using multiple levels of troops, it gets you more kills, and also you in the situation where you're using your castle, you lose less power with those smaller troops. I had a discussion recently in one of my newer kingdoms about that. Um, that one of the players accused me of arguing with them, and that really wasn't what I was doing. Um, but, they were using guard plus 2 sizes of troops, which is fine, and that's better than just using 1. But in my opinion, 4 is quite necessary for the castle itself. So, say you're uh, playing in Throne, or you're playing in Towers, or you are hitting a castle, or you're doing duels in tiles. It's really quite ideal to use your guard plus 3 sizes of troops. Now, those gradiated troops, you would use twice as many of the bigger attack troop, and then have it, and then have it again. And those 3 levels make a huge difference because you will get kills with all of them. And then also the smaller ones die first, causing you to lose less power. And in that respect, you will actually win the duel, or win the fight, or kick out the players in the tower, or whatever the case may be. So I do use multiple. Now in Atlantis, using more than 4 even works too, because you're going to get kills with all them. And a lot of it really is just trial and error. Your account is going to be different than the next account. And even my account, even though I basically do them mostly the same, or typically the same, they're still all going to play a little bit different, because you there's there's a lot of algorithms that come, and things that come to you when you make another account, and you might not get the exact same things, or the exact same shards for the heroes, and different things like that, or the gems, and the gem exchange. And there's just so many variables that each account will still play just a little bit different, even though you build them the same. Now, most players don't play multiple castles or play multiple kingdoms like I have, um, but I do enjoy doing that, and I have found that I get a lot of knowledge, in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you have a nice day. Thank